Hey everyone, this is Amber Key, and you're listening to a Bright Idea podcast, a show where I sit down with entrepreneurs to discuss the aha moments that launched their businesses. On this week's episode, I speak with Courtney Ramsey, the founder and lead photographer of Courtney Ramsey & Co., where every portrait is a celebration of womanhood. With over a decade of experience, beginning with photographing Black burlesque performances in and around DC, she built a brand rooted in sisterhood, legacy, and love. Known as the Spotlight Shiner, she guides women into their best spotlight so they can leave with not just portraits, but a full service experience designed to give them confidence, joy, and timeless heirlooms to be cherished for generations. Based in Washington, D.C., and traveling worldwide, Courtney helps women see themselves in the way that they truly deserve to be seen: powerful, radiant, and unforgettable. In this episode, we chat with Courtney about what led her to photography, emphasizing polished style and the importance of capturing joy, particularly in Black women. She discusses her dual career as a federal contractor and photographer, highlighting the challenges and rewards of balancing both. Courtney reflects on the influences of strong women in her family and how they shaped her understanding of beauty and strength. She also dives into her experiences photographing burlesque performances, which taught her about empowerment and body positivity. Throughout this conversation, Courtney emphasizes the significance of creating a comfortable experience for her clients, the importance of continuous learning in her craft, and her desire to help women see their own narratives through her portraits. Ultimately, she aims to celebrate the journey of women and redefine beauty standards, especially for aging women. Before we dive in, if you love what we're doing here at a Bright Idea podcast, help us keep going. You can subscribe to this show to get notifications when new episodes drop. If you like what you hear, share this episode with someone who needs a little inspiration. And if you'd like to support the show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at a Bright Idea podcast. Lastly, if you're a business owner looking to connect with our growing audience, we'd love to collaborate with you. You can sponsor an ad within one of our episodes or sponsor an entire episode. Just reach out to us to learn more information. Now let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Courtney Ramsey, founder of Courtney Ramsey & Co. All right, so Courtney Ramsey of Courtney Ramsey Co. is here on a Bright Idea podcast. Courtney, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Amber. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I am so excited to talk to you. You and I talked a few weeks ago just about your photography business. I didn't know at the time that you're also in DC, which is super cool. What I love about doing the show is that I talk to people from sort of all over the United States who have businesses, but it's really nice to meet somebody that's right in town, and it's doing their thing. So I'm really happy that you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel the same way because it's like when someone is local to you, you know that you can reach out and touch them and actually form like a friendship in person. So it's really cool.
Yes. And so I am really happy that you're here. I'm excited for our female listeners, but our male listeners as well, to really hear your story and your mission and what you're doing for the community. So we are going to hop into it. But before I get started, I love to play rapid fire with my guests so we can get to know you a little better before we hop into your business. So if you would love to, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so black and white or color portraits?
Black and white and color.
All of the above?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there, okay, so it depends on the mood. Is there ever a time where like one works better than the other?
Yeah. I like bold colors, so color is my go-to. But there's something very sensual and sexy about black and white. Also, black and white can also be just bold and powerful. So It depends on the person.
I love
the
that.
person and the setting and all of that. But so both. And a lot of times I will take color and turn it to black and white, and it looks equally as stunning.
No, I agree. There's something like sort of like regal or like so like stoic about timeless about a black and white photograph. But and for the listeners, if you go on your website, the color you know from the start, like when you go to your website, the pictures that you have on there are so bold and show so much personality of the women that you're photographing. So I think that both could work. So great answer. Okay. Sunrise shoot or golden hour?
Sunrise.
I love that.
I love sunrise. It's just something about, so like golden hour has those warm colors and all of that, but to me a lot of times sunrise just has colors that you're not used to seeing, like the pale blues and things like that. So I love a sunrise.
Okay, I love that. Yeah. What about what's the word that best describes your photography style?
I think modern.
Okay.
Modern, because that's a good question. Yeah, modern, because like I love to take imagery or inspiration and ideas and kind of like make it like just like a little bit bolder, a little bit sharper, a little bit more current.
Yeah.
And I also like taking classic looks and making them look more current and more modern.
I love that. Who is a woman who inspires you right now?
So my mom always inspires me. My mom and my stepmom always inspire me. Because my mom, like, she's a rebel. But she's also super girly, and she also believes in like etiquette and manners. And so she always inspires me to remain ladylike and strong at the same time. And my stepmom is the same way. My bonus mom is the same way. So.
Okay, so you say she's a little bit of a rebel. Like, how would you describe that?
She believes in following her own rules.
Amen.
Yeah.
Go off, Mom. And so do you think that has that kind of inspired you? Like, would you say you're the same way?
It's funny because like I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I'm a little bit more conservative than my mom. So my mom has got like piercings all up and down her ears. She's into like all the like all the she has she likes jewelry in all her fingers, and you know she especially when it comes to fashion and all, like she just really believes in like dressing how she wants to dress.
Yeah.
And doing what she wants to do, and I admire that. So, but me, I'm a little bit more reserved. And so sometimes I'll have to sometimes I think of her when it comes to me doing just a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
She gets you out of your shell a little bit.
She does.
I love that. And my last question is, the first thing you say to calm someone down who's nervous in front of the camera?
Let's take a breath.
I think, yeah. Yeah. I think breath work is underestimated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of it's trendy, but it's trendy for a reason, I guess, because people are realizing that it actually does work. So when it comes to the nerves, take a breath, in, out, in, out. Sometimes I'll hold their hands, in, out, and I'll be like, it's just me, it's just us.
Yeah.
You're in a safe space.
No, exactly. You know. We're going to get into that. So, what is one word that best describes your photography style?
I think polished. I would describe my style as polished. I try to pay attention to all the details. I like crisp, sharp imagery. Again, I like the bold colors. Even, my imagery that's in black and white is still polished and bold. So I say polished.
I love that.
Thank you.
So let's switch gears a little bit. I want to talk to you about your background. I know we played a little bit of rapid fire, but now I want to get into who you are behind the lens and talk about sort of like this journey and how you got to where you are. So I want to start by, first of all, mentioning that this is my second episode that I've done with an entrepreneur that has a side hustle that also works in the government. And I want to
talk to you about that and ask if you can tell me like what you do, what it's like working in the government lately, and sort of like how you landed into this role.
Okay. So which question should I answer first?
Tell me what you do and what it's like currently working in the government.
Okay, so my 9-to-5 job is as a federal contractor. I work with SharePoint, which is a Microsoft technology. I've been working in that for well over 20 years. And I used to love it. As things have gone to the cloud and things have become less hands-on, it's just not as much fun for me. And so that combined with my growing, rekindling love with photography has just kind of changed the trajectory of my life. And with that being said, if you as you'll notice, when you get late 30s, early 40s, you kind of start to find other interests and start to realize that what you're doing in your 9-to-5 really isn't it. If you enjoy your 9-to-5 career for the entire 20, 30, 40 years, you're very blessed. More than likely, you're going to find something else, usually quite the opposite of what you do in your day job, that actually excites you. So I'd say for the last 10 years, I've been doing photography as under my own brand, Courtney, Ramsey and Company, and Clicks by Courtney. And I have just really loved the journey and just loved it. I love it.
Yeah. I used to be, before all of this stuff that we're dealing with politically, that people that worked in the government, it was like such a cool thing to say that you worked for the government, because there was sort of like this job security, that the benefits were really great, that you were doing, depending on which sector you were in, you were doing super impactful work. But you're mentioning that at a certain point you were like, okay, I want to try something a little different than just my 9-to-5. Was there anything that was changing within the job that you were working in, or was it truly you've been in these people that I know that worked in the government, this was their career, they graduated from college and they were in this for so long, so they were ready to do something a little bit different? But what was that change for you?
So I think this administration, of course, has been a growing change. It's expedited my desire to move on to other things. And you're totally right. Before saying that you work for the government, there was a sense of pride, because especially as a Black woman or a Black person or a person of color, you are doing your part. Our ancestors fought for us to be able to have these rights and to sit in these spaces and make contributions in this way, and now it's just for me personally, it just doesn't feel the same. It's also I think my way of realizing that the next generation needs to come in, because if you don't have that fire to fight and to push, then it's best that you go and do something else that you actually want to do.
And you made a really good point about being a Black person in that sort of industry, because I do think, especially in this area, being a Black person at a time in a certain time working for the government was a way that you were able to move into upper middle class, build wealth for your family, and create a life that we didn't always see in other industries, or wasn't always presented to us. And so I think that and this interview is not about working for the government, but I do think that it, now that things, right? It's part of the conversation, it's part of your journey. But I think now that we do see so much is changing, I think it is time for people to reframe what it is to work in a 9-to-5, or what it is to build wealth for your family. And so thank you so much for sharing that story, your journey, and your part of your job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's also about passion. So, working in SharePoint for all those years, it was my passion. So I genuinely enjoyed it. And I've always been a person who has really thrived on doing what they love to do.
Yeah.
And so because it's not that anymore for me with this technology, or, you know, with like being in tech, and photography is that and has been for, quite honestly, I say 10 years, but like when I look back, I've always had a camera in my hand. I just, you know, I just hadn't found the aspect of photography that really brings out the joy. Yeah, so it really is just about like especially at this stage, working your hardest to find your passion and make it work for you, because there's so many ways that you can contribute to like society, and when you're doing it in a way that's like through your passion, through your gift, through your talent, it actually helps others and it helps your community.
I love that. So where did your creative journey begin? Like, were you always drawn to photography, or did it come later in life? I know you said that you have been running this business for 10 years, but always had a camera in your hand. Like, where would you say you started that creative journey?
So my dad gave me my first camera, I think it was either 5th grade graduation or 6th grade graduation. And it was a 35 millimeter Panasonic, which I still have.
I love that.
I still have it. And so I'm kind of like a shy person, a bit of an introvert, but when you have a camera, it allows you to be there without, you know, being in it. And so I realized, like, looking back, homecomings, you know, graduation, prom, you know, school spirit weeks, all of those things, I always had my camera, and it just kind of lets me be a part of something without, I don't know, making me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when you had your camera, like, what were you taking pictures of at the time?
Oh man, okay. I have pictures like 8th grade pool party, you know, prom, graduation, things like that. College, homecomings, house parties, things like that. Moving on up, most recently, I'd say like in my 30s, when I had a YouTube channel for natural hair, and after doing that for a number of years and realizing that I don't know how to do hair past the flat twist,
Same.
I decided it was probably time to like look into something else, you know.
Yeah.
And I also realized that I was having more fun creating my thumbnails than actually editing the videos.
Yeah.
And so from there, I started going to like natural hair events and Ubiquitous, the Dudley hair show, like, you know, like the hair, like just things like that, and photographing it as an event, like, and like for practice. And I just had so much fun. And I realized that part of that was just being around Black women who were comfortable and happy, and, you know, in a circumstance that just was nothing but joy.
Yeah.
Like, when you are in a hair and a beauty expo, you're there to have fun. Like, you don't have a care in the world. And I just really enjoyed photographing that. Also, photographing Black hair can be very challenging, because, especially curly hair, because our hair doesn't reflect light the way, like when it's curly.
Yeah.
And so it became kind of challenging for me to try to figure out how to bounce light off of our curls to get them to show on camera. So, you know, just kind of all these things. So it's like the creativity started coming in, going to these events, witnessing the joy that Black women have at these events and amongst each other. It just kind of all started coming together. Yeah. So
I really love that. And I love, it almost seems full circle in a way, because when I was doing a little bit of research on you and the work that you've created on your website, you show some of your family pictures, and you show the women in your family and like generations of these women. And I thought what was so lovely about the pictures were just women being women, and women living their lives. And one thing that I love about photography is, like, I think sometimes we get so caught up in like the poses of it all, but the candid moments of people just like being them is what's so beautiful. And so I was like, that is what really drew me in. And so I was wondering, like, growing up, were there any women or artists that who made you see beauty or confidence differently? Like, because I saw in the pictures on your website, it just like these women just exude just like so much confidence and just like honestly look like such, I don't know these people from Box of Rocks, but like badasses. So I just want to know, like, growing up, like, was that represented to you?
I think so, and not in the way that yes, but not in the way that was so overt and in your face that I think like I've always been around beautiful women, like my aunts, my cousins, my mom, stepmom, like they're just beautiful women who have their own style, their own grace, their own poise, who know how to have fun, but also know how to, like, be like womanly,
Yeah.
And I don't mean like in a patriarchal way, but I mean like hold, like, regal, and hold your head high, and
Yeah.
do all that. So, and have strength. And the older I get, the more I realize that that's what I was around. And when I look at, like, you don't know these women, but when I look at them, I'm like, oh yeah, like they had a life before us. They were doing their thing, they were having their basement parties. They were going on dates and having lives and all this kind of stuff. And, there's so much more to being a woman than but then being a mother or a sibling or a wife. And I really enjoy showing these aspects.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like, for you, like, what did that teach you? Like, what did you learn from the women in your family?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning that, for one, you're the only one that can control yourself. And that, it takes a much stronger person to remain kind, to remain thoughtful, to go high even when you want to go low. And if you want to go low, you can still go low in like a respectful way. Like there really is a lot to, the strength of a woman. And I feel like as I get older, I definitely have learned how much my parents have been really, really good role models for me, and my family as well.
All right, guys, have you ever wondered what it's like to enjoy a luxury cigar experience on wheels? Meet the Infinity Mobile Cigar Lounge. Founded by Tara and Quincy Tucker, this isn't your average cigar lounge. It's a 28-foot trailer transformed into a luxury haven, complete with TVs, a humidifier, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, music, and a vibe that's simply unmatched. Whether you're hosting a wedding, corporate event, or just a backyard gathering, Infinity Mobile Cigar Lounge brings the party to you. With top-notch customer service and a selection of cigars that cater to every palate, it's an experience you won't forget. Support a business that's all about family, community, and creating unforgettable moments. Visit infinitymobilecigar.com to book your event today. Infinity Mobile Cigar Lounge. Book now and elevate your next event.
Yeah. I love that. I want to talk about like your core story and some of your inspiration. And I saw that you started by photographing Black burlesque performers.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's swing into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's swing into that. So what drew you to that world, and how did it shape the way you photograph women today?
Okay, so going from, I always start my story way too far back. So natural hair, YouTube, hair expos, all that wonderful stuff. And then I really, again, like just seeing the joy of women and just wanting to be around that more, and also wanting to like capture that more. I started looking into ways to like what else can I photograph that like centers around Black women joy. Didn't exactly know not like in those words, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And being like, a member of the LGBT community, and, looking for various events, I came across the Chocolate City Burlesque dance crew. And I asked them if I could photograph them, and being around those women, being around these beautiful burlesque women, burlesque dancers, because not all of them identify as women, but burlesque dancers, was just so empowering. Seeing women who are, or seeing these dancers who were in control of their body and took charge of it. They were unapologetic. I just love the unapologeticness of it. And as a photographer, oh my gosh, covering performance art is, it's like chef's kiss. It is just so exciting, and because you're getting to capture a creative who's doing what they love.
Yeah.
So just photographing anyone who's doing what they love, who was in that moment of acceptance, of being comfortable with themselves, joyous moments. Fantastic.
I would imagine too that it's like the purest form of authenticity too, is to photograph a performer. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And like and it's funny because I don't have any of those photographs on my website because I took them so long ago, but I should. So I'm going to add them. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, we need to bring it back for like anniversary photos, like anniversary of your business photos. Yeah, like bring them back. No, I thought that was so interesting because that is like the extreme, like side of what it means to be a woman is like this burlesque performance, and like how did that shape then how you photograph women today, like that experience? Like what did you take from that?
It taught me that like to accept women as they are. So some women are going to be a little bit more modest or reserved in front of the lens, and some aren't. And not to make one the other, not to ask one to be the other.
Yeah.
So if one is more comfortable in front of the camera or wants to do more things that, I'm not even going to say risque, but just a little bit more open, go with it. If there's, like when I have clients who are like a little bit more reserved or, modest, go with it. Let a woman just be a woman. Just let her be her.
I would love to know too, like from this experience, like how did women become the overarching theme of your work?
Because we're amazing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we're amazing. Period. That's
Period.
That's
okay.
It. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Yeah. I could write paragraphs on this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would love for you to get into it. Let's get into it.
Okay. We're just beautiful, right? We're intelligent. We are very capable of doing so much more than what society has not restricted us from doing, but making it, but has made more difficult for us to do and achieve. Through it all, we still find time, especially like Black women, we still find time to be with our friends. We still have our sister girl moments. We have our own language. We have our own style. We're fly as I don't know what. I just love everything about us.
Yeah.
I love our strength. I love our resilience. I love our softness. I love our ability to talk to each other just through our eyes. I love it. And just in general, women are capable of so much. I mean, our bodies alone can do so much. We give life, like we create life. And that was kind of like the start of my maternity journey with photography, because of a really good friend of mine. She had her third baby was a double rainbow baby. And so as part of her maternity gift, I gifted her a maternity session, and it was like the first real one that I had done. And, her family was there. I had like an assistant there. Her cousin was her wardrobe stylist. We had a makeup artist come in. Her husband had rented a dance studio, and so we converted that to an actual studio. I mean, we just went all out and we had the best time, and just being able to be a part of something, of a moment that was so special and that she had survived and gotten to, was just, I don't know, I felt like at that, like that whole occasion, I know that God put that in me and showed me that my passion was working with women from that.
I love that. And I thank you so much for sharing that story, because I feel that that's what womanhood is like, it's not a monolith. Like, we come in we're so dynamic, we come in all forms, and I think that we go through so much, and we're so resilient, and we're superheroes, but we're not always celebrated for those moments. And so I would love to know, like, how you define, like, the spotlight. Like, when you are photographing a woman, no matter if it's, you know, she just graduated from college, or she's on a maternity shoot, or it's a birthday shoot, like, how do you define that spotlight, and like, what does it mean to help someone, like, step into theirs and make them feel comfortable so they can shine and celebrate all that is being a woman?
So from the moment someone, a woman reaches out to me, and sometimes, you know, the spouses will reach out to me for their partner, but the moment that a woman reaches out to me, she's in my spotlight. I am essentially preparing to shine the spotlight on her to be her best, most comfortable self in front of the lens. And so from the time I talk to her, I am working to get to know her. We are discussing, you know, her ideas and her thoughts, and going through the process of, you know, planning her session and all of that, to get her comfortable, to get her to the point of, for one, you know, being comfortable, but also being willing to relax and let us do for her.
Yeah.
And allowing, so by us, my team, by us, you know, allowing them to be comfortable and do everything for them and make this a really good luxury experience, it lets them step into their spotlight, which is accepting of it, stepping in front of the camera, being receptive to seeing themselves in a way that they may not be used to seeing themselves.
Yeah.
So that is stepping into your spotlight.
When you're in those moments, like, do you see, I know that it may be uncomfortable at first, like, you know, you go into this room, you have a camera, there's a team of people that might be there, and so you like, naturally, I'm assuming that a woman is a little uncomfortable, has to come out of her shell, but like, describe, like, that experience when the woman is finally like, like, she's like, oh, like, this is who I can be myself. Do you ever have those type of moments?
Oh yeah. Sometimes it happens like that, and then sometimes it's gradual.
Yeah.
So usually I don't think I've had a woman come to our studio who didn't start off a little bit nervous. You know, you can see it. So you know, you come in, you know, so I have them come in and, you know, just kind of get like a lay of the land, put their stuff down, introduce them to everyone. And then we talk about the wardrobe so that the stylist knows, so that my makeup artist knows how to do, you know, her face. With the colors and all of that. And then they get in the chair. Sometimes they don't want to talk, and we just let them. We don't talk. We'll play the music, and we'll just let them go into their woosah, relax, not think about anyone or anything, just, you know, ground themselves. Other times they want to chit chat, and we are here for that too. We keep everything positive. There's no gossip, there's no negativity. My team is not negative at all, but if they were, it would not be allowed anyway. Like, we just don't do that, because that's not what we're here for. We just have a good time. And I'd have to say that the transformation usually happens when they see their face. So when their makeup's done,
oh wow,
you put the mirror up, you know, they just, you can kind of see it start, you know, like,
yeah, it's like showtime.
They start to feel themselves a little bit. Like, it's like a Beyonce effect a little bit. So yeah, it's beautiful to watch. And often for the maternity sessions, it happens when they put on their first wardrobe
Oh.
So if it's a gown or something fitted, or like when they see themselves and see their belly, in such a styled way, yeah, they start to transform.
Let's talk a little bit about like the artistry and the process. So you've just described, you've built a brand that's more than just photography. It's about the experience. So walk us through what that experience looks like, and from like the moment the client books the session to when they see their portrait.
So we aim to keep this experience as full service. Well, we provide a full service experience, and we aim to keep it as stress-free as possible for the clients, because you have enough on your plate and we don't want to add to it. We want to improve, your life, not add more things on your to-do list. So when we have our discovery call, we're just on the phone talking to make sure that, I'm a good fit for you, you're a good fit for me, because I feel like the most important thing to having a positive experience when you're taking professional pictures is trusting and meshing with your photographer, because you essentially are trusting me to pose you and style you and do different things. And if that trust isn't there, if you're feeling uncomfortable, then it's going to show. So we have our discovery call. After the booking is done, then we have our styling and planning call, which is when we go over the whole session in detail. So everything from the moment you arrive to, the day of your session. We talk about wardrobe, your makeup preference, wardrobe style, the set, colors. I have an online, and I always forget to tell people this, but I have an online shopping gallery.
Awesome.
So you don't have to come in to be fitted or styled. I'll send you a link. You look through all the wardrobe, favorite what you like, add it to the cart. I'll get a notification and I'll pull that. And and from that, I'll also have ideas based on what we've talked about. And I'll usually bring like a few other pieces. I provide all the jewelry. We talk about like undergarments, everything that needs to be discussed.
It's truly a full service. Yeah.
Yes. I literally just want for you to get your hair done, because I don't have a hairstylist in place. Not even get it done. We'll just talk about your hair, because we don't actually do your hair there, but we will do a ponytail and we can jazz it up for you. But and put on some press-ons or get your nails and get a mani and pedi if you choose to, and then just show up and we will take care of everything else.
I love that. And I think that's, sorry, were you about to mention something?
Oh no, go ahead. I was going to tell you about what happens next. Go ahead.
No, tell us what happens next.
Okay, so then after that, after we've talked, then I send you a mood board with different poses and inspirations and things for us, to make sure that we're on the same page visually. Also has like some set ideas and wardrobe ideas, just things like that. And then after that is your session. Come to your session. We have a fantastic time. And then within 24 hours, you'll receive your proofing gallery. So you can select your images. And then as soon as I receive them, within 7 to 10 business days, you'll receive your final images. And then depending on the collection that you select, you'll receive your album and or whatever other heirlooms you have ordered.
Hey y'all, I want to tell you about Liquid Intrusion Brewing Company, Prince George's County's first Black-owned brewery, founded by husband and wife duo Jasmine and Andrew Dill. What began as a home project during the pandemic quickly turned into a mission to bring more diversity, flavor, and representation to the craft beer industry. Liquid Intrusion is bringing a whole new idea to craft beer with their bold, flavorful brews like the Maverick, a tribute to Governor Wes Moore, Saison du Zest, and the African Queen and her Seven Seas IPA. You can find all of their beers in local grocery stores and beer distributors in the DMV by going onto their website. You can also listen to their episode on a Bright Idea podcast anywhere that podcasts are available to hear more about their story. May the liquid always prevail.
This is the information that people are looking for, because I think that, you know, when you are considering a photographer, it is about the photographic experience, of course, but it's really about building that trust and building like that comfortability and ensuring that the person walks away feeling that they were taken care of, that they're going to have beautiful pictures. But some of the topics that you had described earlier about your friend who had the double rainbow pregnancy, and some of these other women that you're photographing that have gone through deep things, like it could be a sensitive time. And so I want to kind of get into something that you and I were talking about during our intro call, which was the fact that you photograph women of all ages. And we were talking about aging women specifically, and that aging can be such a complex topic for women. And one of the things that you and I were talking about was that now in media, we're just now starting to see more content surrounding women that are aging. You know, people like Gabrielle Union is talking about her dealing with menopause. There are podcasts out there for aging women, like Julia Dreyfus's like Wiser Than Me podcast. There's shows like the spinoff of Sex and the City, and Just Like That. So these topics are just now being discussed, but like, how do you approach photographing women as they age, and in a way that feels empowering rather than reflective of like societal pressures?
I think because I don't put those societal pressures on women and on my clients, it's not even like really a thought. It's just about, bringing out the best in my clients and having them look and feel their best. And usually, and when you feel your best, you also look your best, and it comes through. So when I'm with my clients, I don't even think about going against. I think about what's working and what my client wants to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it. Like, my intention and my purpose, and like part of my purpose with the business is, and the messaging is to have women understand and to talk about, being empowered and all of that. But when they're in front of me, I'm focused on them.
Yeah. I want to discuss like how we empower women, that we can do different things at any age, or we can still be heard of in any thought of or any age, or listened to. I mean, I talk to so many women that are over whatever age, and they just feel like they're not seen anymore. Like, can you talk about some shoots or some moments where you've seen that, or like how you're empowering women in that way?
So I think generally speaking, and it's funny, we had this conversation. I told you about my mom, how she had told me that one time and I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I was thinking my late 20s, and now I'm in my 40s, late 40s. And yeah, I understand, like, there is a sort of invisibleness that happens. And it's weird because you are not, because you don't realize that you were visible before, and now you are slightly invisible to others.
Yeah.
With that being said, I also think that finding your community, finding your tribe is really essential and really important, because it's not that you can't necessarily change anything about being invisible to others. And I don't even know that we should care to an extent.
Yeah.
Aside from laws needing to be, in place for, for like when you're aging, and things needing to be there to help you along the way. But me caring about what someone who I don't even care about thinks, I don't care anymore. What I care about is being around people who care about me. And so that's what I bring to my clients. I care about them, and they care about, me by the time the experience is over, and, us having a good time, and them knowing that I see them, and then also giving them a platform for them to see themselves.
Yeah.
That's also what's important, yeah.
I just think that too, like, one thing that we can really take away from older women, I think that we focus so much on younger women and Gen Z and what everything that Gen Z can offer to the world, but there is a beauty in the wise and the women that have lived through things. I mean, you mentioned that your mom is someone who inspires you because she's a rebel, but at the same time she's like proper and prim, and I have a mother who is in her 60s and she's getting her doctorate degree right now and doesn't have any real plans for it other than she wants to get her doctorate degree, and then 2 years ago she became a Delta, and she's living her best life. Yes. And she has the coolest friends now, and she's just she's such a boss. So do you have any stories like that of women that are just like doing so many cool things that you've had the opportunity to photograph?
Yes, actually. So, okay. There's some that I signed privacy statements, so I don't know how much I can talk about them.
Sure.
But okay, I have one client who, she recently turned 60, and she's just amazing. For her job, she travels around the world. I always thought she was kind of shy because I've known her for a number of years. I always thought she was kind of shy, but she actually isn't. It's just that she's been doing her thing, and if you're not around her and if you're not in her circle, then you don't know all the fantastic things that she's doing. I think that there's so many women who are doing so many amazing things, and because they're doing all these amazing things, you don't really know what they're doing until you sit down and talk to them. So during our discovery calls or during our styling and planning calls, that's sometimes when I'll try to ask, what they're up to, what they're doing, without keeping it around the children or the job, but just the stuff that they like to do. And that's when I usually find out some really interesting things. I can't think of anything else right now because I'm on the spot.
No,
but
that's okay.
I have come across some really, you know what? Last weekend, it wasn't my event, it was my fiance's event. There was a woman there who has a business. She's a retired CEO, and she has a business where she helps others, where she teaches others how to do caretaking for their parents.
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
And she just started this business.
I love that. Oh, that's so important too. Because being a caretaker is not for the weak.
Oh,
wow.
And I cannot wait to get her in front of my camera. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to get her in front of my camera, in front of my lens. But there are so many women out there who are doing fascinating, fantastic things, and they're just doing it.
Yeah. And I think that it's beautiful to point out too that we're not just here to celebrate, we're not only on this earth to be mothers, or to
serve others.
I don't know. Serve others. We can be so many things in our own right, and that's why I love that you're on this show right now to promote how you are celebrating those moments and really bringing to light other aspects of womanhood.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really about celebrating yourself and just giving yourself grace, giving yourself credit, and just recognizing that you are a beautiful person just as you are.
Yeah, no, I love that. I want to get into the entrepreneurial journey of this because, like we said in the very beginning, this is we have your 9 to 5, and then this is, I'm going to call it your 5 to 9. How have you balanced the creative side of photography with building a sustainable business?
Oh, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It goes, it's got its highs and its lows. So I'd say that the good thing is that by just having a 9 to 5 and the type of 9 to 5 that I have, once I leave, all thoughts are gone for, you know, for 9 to 5. There's no conversations, there's no discussions, there's none of that. It's just everything that happens at work stays at work. And so it does allow me to just come home, and when I have the energy and the stamina, focus on my business. So that's great. And of course I have weekends, you know, to focus. The type of job that I have, there's some flexibility. So like if there's something going on, I can leave a little bit early, you know, or come in a little bit late, occasionally, to make sure that I'm taking care of like my own stuff.
Yeah.
So that's helpful. And I'd have to say that having this 9 to 5 has been like where I am right now, and with what's going on right now, it's like the biggest motivation that shows me that I need to move more into the entrepreneurial space 75 to 100% of the time.
Speak on it.
For two main reasons. One, as a creative, it's hard to switch the creativity on late at night and when you're tired, and just, you know, when you're going from a structured way of thinking to creative, sometimes it's just hard to like flip that switch. And then two, when you work in a 9 to 5 position, you are surrounded by 9 to 5 mentality.
Yes,
and it's
girl.
mentality that I've always had, you know, so there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's not my place anymore. And just, making sure that I maintain that entrepreneurial mindset and that I allow that to continue growing makes this journey all the more interesting.
I love that you just mentioned that, because I've been thinking a lot about that too, because as you know, I have a 9 to 5, and then I also do this podcast on the side. And I think what motivates me or what drives me are like
you
stories
don't do it on
like
the side. You also do a podcast.
I also do a podcast. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. But like to that point, it's like the 9 to 5 mentality. It's like this is my business. I do make money off it, but I still think of it as like a passion project, because I have this 9 to 5 that like makes you think that you need it for that like security.
Yes.
And to your point about the creative piece of it, I think what keeps me going is like talking to entrepreneurs and people like you that are still doing it, because if it was anything else, I would be like, I can't do this anymore. Because having a podcast especially, and I'm sure photographing people is the same, like you get burnt out so easily. And so you have to find that like that drive. So I'm curious, like how do you keep yourself going to like motivate yourself that like, no, I'm going to be a photographer. This is going to be my job one day. I have to keep hustling so I can make it a reality. And I'm asking for a friend, aka myself.
So can we curse on this podcast?
Oh yes.
Okay, so I would say you don't get burnt out, you get burnt the fuck out. Like seriously, the fuck out. Tired. So to that I'd say I am growing like in my network of women, of entrepreneurs. I need to actually grow my entrepreneurial network, include like men as well, but just having this safe space of Black women.
That's okay. We can just stick to women. It's fine. No, sorry to the men listening, but
you know.
No. Women only. We're good.
And honestly, like, you know, part of the reason why, like, I think I need to include some men is because they just have like a different way of thinking, and so sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a little too in my head on that one. But like, I would say that just growing this network of women, and the way that I've done that is, so I joined. Well, initially I was participating in the Hello 7 free challenges. It's Rachel Rogers' company. Hello 7. It's like a mastermind business.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Black woman, you know, amazing. So doing those free challenges, and then going to the summit, and then eventually joining and just being around. So there's like, that's one aspect. My fiance attracts Black women entrepreneurs like magnets, like a magnet. She's just like I don't know, she's just this personable soul that just attracts people. So when she meets them, I just stick myself to them. So I've grown my network through her. Also taking like photography classes. I used to do, what do you call it, meetups.
Yeah.
The photography meetup. So I've grown my network that way. I've tried to grow it organically, doing the things that I like to do, and from that I have met like a lot of entrepreneurs, and specifically through like some of the mastermind events. That's how I've met these wonderful Black women who are in other industries from photography, which has also helped. Just getting different perspectives and just seeing that there's also so many other ways to make money out there. That keeps me motivated, because if it were up to me, I would think, oh, I have to stay in this 9 to 5 and there's no other way to do it. And being around these other people, it's like, no, there's other things you can do, but you have to be willing to do them in a sense of networking more and being more accountable, you know, to yourself, and not just relying on your 9 to 5 to bring in your comfortable paycheck. Like you have to go out and actually get it. So
what you just said there was a soundbite moment, and I might use that for the promo, because first of all, I want to go back. I was halfway kidding about having men in your network. That was like 50%. I do think that it is a good idea, because what I've noticed, though, with this podcast in interviewing males that are entrepreneurs, is that there is like a I don't give a fuck attitude. Like women, we are so smart and like we work so hard, but we still have this on the back of the mind, like, oh my God, can I do this? Or like, what are people going to think of me? Or like, am I going to be able to take care of my family and my friends? And men are like, I don't give a fuck. I could be like so mediocre, but I'm going to get it done. And so being around that type of mentality, I feel like is good for, growing your network, but also like getting to your goal, which is to be a full-time entrepreneur. But also what I really loved, about what you said about, I take a photography class, like that is something so underrated. Like you're a photographer, so you're like, and like you still take photography classes. That's like Beyonce still taking dance classes, like to perfect her craft. Like you always have to be learning. But that was the other part that I was like, damn, that's a good one, writing that down. And then the last thing that you said was surrounding yourself around other entrepreneurs, because I feel like what I find in my own network, and I'm trying to do this differently as well, is like
you're about to be added, so it's fine.
Oh, love it. But like what I find is that my network, the people that I surround, my friends, and nothing, no shade to them, but they work in 9 to 5. So like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ambitious, or like my dreams are so big, or like maybe I should just like settle for working this 9 to 5 with this comfortable salary, like. But it's because I'm not around other entrepreneurs that are literally all burnt out, all grinding for a goal. It's like birds of a feather, that like that like cliche, like birds of a feather fly together. Like you have to, in order to get to where you want, you have to be around the people that are like-minded. So thank you so much for that whole dialogue you just had, because I'm like floating right now.
Listen, okay, so to that, like, you know, being around like whatever people normalize becomes normal, right? So like when you're around those who are more entrepreneurial minded, then that becomes the norm, and you start to think that way. I think that's why it's so important to like be around that as much as possible. Also, you kind of learn, like, it's not just through exposure. I think it also makes you a little bit like more emotionally and mentally tougher, or like prepared, you know, because like, you know, I don't know, I just think it does. I mean, like, and then with the 9 to 5 thing, let me tell you, I have thought more times, I have quit photography more times than I care to mention on this podcast, and in the same breath I'm already thinking about my next shoot. Because when it's a passion, it's something that you really want to do, you are going to keep doing it. And I think that's what part of what being an entrepreneur is. Like, the burnout is real, which is where I think like the mindset work and the pacing yourself work, work is a constant journey or whatever.
Yeah.
But when it's your passion, it's like you literally can't help it. You can't help it.
I want to, I could talk to you about that forever, and we are after, because I'm like, girl, especially because we live in the city, I'm like, period, we're going to have lunch, yes, okay, anyway, hold on, let me get back on track. So, I want to know, you're a photographer, there's so many photographers, it's what people would call no, go ahead,
okay.
Go ahead.
When you mentioned the thing about learning,
yeah,
like, I will always be a student. I will always be taking classes. It benefits me, but it also, first I just like school, but like it benefits me, but it benefits my clients. And I would encourage any entrepreneur, first of all, why is that word so hard to say and spell? And yet you have to.
Can we, like, business owner? Like, let's just call it entrepreneur. Okay. That was like.
Like when you're a business owner, like you have to continue to improve yourself and build your skill set. You absolutely have to. And like we will do it for our 9 to 5 more than we will do it for our business. And that doesn't even make sense. So
yeah.
I'm getting off my soapbox.
No, no. I love that. But like continuously learning, like you have to be cutting edge, which I think also, which lends itself into this next question, which was like, what lessons do you learn about branding and client experience that have helped you like stand out in such a saturated market?
I think I'm still learning. Branding, in my opinion, is one of those phrases that is it's like all encompassing. It means so much, and people will often bring it down to like your outfit or your colors. But your branding is how you represent yourself, how your business represents itself, how you represent your business, all of that. And I think I'm still learning that. Like as an entrepreneur, I'm still working on my messaging. I'm still trying to find ways to connect to women and to communicate the value that I see in them and the value that I want them to see in themselves without sounding like I'm like preaching to them. Yeah. So it's definitely, it's still a journey. I'm still trying to figure that out. As
you're doing it though.
Trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. What is, you kind of talked about this already, but I would love to know, like, if someone wanted to turn their creative passion into a career, like you are doing, what advice would you give them about finding their niche and building from there?
Photography wise?
Yeah. Or anything.
Okay.
Because you found your niche in photographing women, but how do you believe in that, like niching down? I know there's like a whole discourse online about niche, but yeah, like what advice would you give somebody looking to do that?
Okay, I believe in niching only because it can be real expensive, and I'm just going to talk photography.
Yes,
it can be real expensive if you don't, to an extent.
Okay.
In terms of the gear and the things that are involved. But with that being said, I know of several photographers who photograph everything. Like you go to their website, they cover everything from weddings to product photography. Two very different, So it really just depends. Also, I think that in this day and age where marketing, SEO, everything is so technical.
Yeah.
It's, if you're not already established, if people don't already know you like within your community or through word of mouth, or if you're not like one of those real hustlers who are out there at everything and you're just social and people know you, I think it's a little bit more challenging when you're not niche because people don't know how to find you.
Yeah. No, that's great advice.
But to that, I'd say like if you're just starting out, photograph everything. Photograph any and everything, because you don't know what you are going to be comfortable with or what's going to spark your passion until you do it. Like, and when I say everything, I mean from sunrises, sunsets, flowers, feet, candles, because it's, you know, lighting and exposure. You need to like learn your light. Don't go buy all this expensive equipment. Use what you have, because it's more about composition and lighting than anything. Once you are comfortable with that, then yeah, you can, you know, invest in something a little bit else, something a little bit more. You can start with your camera. I mean, with your phone as a camera, because again, composition and light. Take it off auto and actually learn what those settings are. If you're in the DC area, take Daryl Todd's courses. He is one of my mentors. He's been a photographer in the DC area for I don't know how long, like years and years and years. He looks like he's 20, but he's not. So, you know, but he is one of the few Black photographers who truly, honestly cares about photography and you. And
he has classes? Where are they located?
So
wow.
He's in-person classes. Like, he had a studio. I think he gave the studio up after, like, I think like during the pandemic he let it go at some point. But he still does classes. You meet wherever like. Okay, so we used to meet in the studio and, you know, have classes. I mean, I'm talking like he would give tests. You know, he'd have models come in and you practice. Like, every class was like a different theme or a different topic. Yeah. But like, for example, when we learned about dragging our shutter, he literally had us all line up, which is another thing, you know, being in DC is beautiful, beautiful Black photographers, you know, all just lined up with their cameras. And this man is running and we have to track him, you know, like, he really wants to make sure that you understand the basics of photography, because if you don't understand the basics of photography, lighting, composition, exposure, ISO, and shutter speed, then what are you doing? You know,
you're not.
Yeah.
Does he make you photograph in 35 millimeter or digital?
It was digital. Yeah. Okay. Now he at one point, I think he had like 35 millimeter or like darkroom classes. Like, he kind of gives courses based on what he thinks we need to know. So like, for example, like I think I took like the fundamentals class and I think I took part 2. My stepdad got sick, so I dropped out of part 2. So I finished part 1, but like he has like cell phone classes and underwater photography classes and editing in Lightroom, editing in Photoshop, like everything you could think of related to photography, he has had some sort of course on. And Daryl Todd is amazing. Yeah. I
love that. All right, I'm going to look that up. I want to do sort of a reflection of what we discussed in this episode. But what does it mean to you when a woman tells you she finally sees herself the way she always wanted to?
I don't know, it makes my heart warm. There's no other word. It's not words.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think finally.
Yeah.
But it usually just warms my heart and I just get a dumb smile on my face and I don't know what to say or do. It makes me
your work is done. You've done your job.
I don't know.
Yeah. No,
so
I love that.
I usually would say something dumb like, "Oh, we have to do it again," because I'm feeling all weird. So.
No.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm like when I see my clients' faces, because I will hand deliver. Within the last few months, I've been hand delivering the heirlooms. And so I get to actually see them open it, you know.
Oh my God, that's so special. Do you cry? I'm an emotional person. So like, I get like, yeah, I'm a weirdo.
I don't cry. I get like weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Awkward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that.
No, but it is like, it is a weird thing. Like I even like for the person that you're photographing, like to finally like see herself the way she always like believed on the inside that she was, but then to see it on the outside and then to be able to share that moment with that person, like it does, there's almost like words can't compare. It's kind of like you feel giddy, but you also, there's like sort of like it's like embarrassing sometimes, but like, yeah, like all of the things.
And honestly, I think most of it is because of how, as Black women and women, we're just like, we have to keep this facade up, or this face up, and so where there's an opportunity to relax it, sometimes it is a little awkward and uncomfortable, but I mean, at some point, I think we just have to embrace it and be comfortable with that, because what it really means is that we don't feel it enough.
Yeah. How has the work changed the way you see yourself?
Oh my goodness, Amber. Okay, so up until the top of this year, I'd have been like, oh, I'm good. I'm pretty confident in things. I'm comfortable with myself. But since the top of this year, I have been like shaken to the core. So I am like in ways that I don't quite even understand as a woman and as a person. And so, and for no real particular reason. So I actually try to keep that separate from my clients, because I don't want to bring that to my clients, like, because I see the beauty and value in them, even though I'm going through whatever I'm going through. So what was your question? I'm also perimenopausal. That could be it. What was the question?
Girl, it's fine. Oh, I was saying, how has the work changed the way you see yourself?
Oh yeah. Okay. So yes, I don't know. I'm still right now I'm at a stage in life where I'm trying to figure out myself again. Yeah. And it's funny that you say this, because that we're having this conversation, because I decided this morning that tomorrow I'm going to the studio and I'm going to photograph myself.
Oh.
Because I need to bear myself in front of the lens for a little while.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone in that feeling. Since the top of the year, I feel like so many people have felt whiplash. I mean, I feel like we felt it during COVID, where we were all inside, and then people started really rethinking what it means to work, or rethinking what they wanted to do in life. And then we came out for a minute and we kind of like took a deep breath, and now we're back in this like dystopian time too. So I feel like it makes total sense that you're like sort of having this moment where you're like, okay, wait, who am I? What do I want to do? What is it? You know? So you're not alone in that feeling.
Yeah, I think that like it's a lot of it is that now that we're talking about it, I think a lot of it is that. I think also, and I'm sure like most women and people at this point, you're just tired of being exhausted.
Girl, tired of being tired.
Yes, tired of being tired, and also like as a society, we had such an opportunity to move forward, and we're moving backwards. But at the same time, it's like, well, we're here, and I say we're here as in like we are already here moving forward. So let's just continue to do so, like in our everyday experiences. So like, whereas at one point I felt like, society is going to be moving forward, and we're going to be, taking leaps and bounds, and as people, like things are going to get better. I'm realizing that, again, you can't control other people, but it's still on you as a person to move forward. So it makes me think about like, okay, so I have been watching Touch by an Angel, right?
Okay.
Never cared about it before. My fiance Robin was like, oh, it's such a good show. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I put it on and hooked. It's from the 90s. For the last few, since the pandemic, I've been watching like old shows, like 70s, 80s, 90s shows. And I realized, and my mom, who's the rebel, was like, why are you watching these old ass shows? Like, ugh, get with it, And I'm like, Ma, the reason why I watch them is because they're slightly predictable. They have like, they're usually wrapped up in a 30-minute thing. The characters are flat. So there aren't all those dimensions that we see in characters now, which kind of is slightly comforting because there's no real surprises. There's no anxiety. It's just very, flat. The characters are flat. You know what they're going to say or do or whatever. And so there's some comfort in that. But so with Touched by the Angel, Della Reese is one of the main characters. So I was doing some research on Della Reese. She was ahead of her time, right? And so it makes me, I said all that to say that there are women who have been ahead of their time, knocking down doors, being themselves, regardless of the circumstances or the situations.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't know all their names, but it didn't stop them from having a great life and contributing. Yeah. And so that's the kind of woman that I want to be. Like, regardless of the time, regardless of what's going on, I want to continue to move forward. And so personally and professionally, and all that. So
I think it's a great time you're spot on. Okay. And I think a lot of women, especially Black women, can really identify with what you're saying in that a few months ago, we did our part, 92% of us, and we're tired of being tired. And so now we're going to take matters into our own hands, and we're going to create the lives that we want to create in whatever way that looks, and we're going to be celebrated while doing it. And I feel that way. Yeah.
We're still doing it. To what we were talking about earlier, to see that this hasn't stopped anyone.
Yeah.
This has not stopped people from moving forward, living their lives, doing the things that they really want to do. It may change the way that we do it a little bit, but it doesn't stop our end goal.
Amen. Mm-hmm. My last question is, what do you hope your portraits will mean decades from now for the women you photograph and their families?
I hope that these women look back on themselves and are proud of the woman that they were and are, and how fly that, and I want them to remember how fly they were, how fly they still are. I want for these pictures for these images, not even pictures, they're images. I want for these portraits and these images to showcase their own narrative, to let them know that they are creating their own narrative and that they created their own narrative in their life. I
love that. Courtney, thanks so much for coming on to the show. This has been... I knew that this interview was going to have layers, and so I'm so happy that you went down and peeled those layers for me, because I really do think that it is bigger than photography. It is the experience. It is the complexity of womanhood and all that should be celebrated in that. And so thank you for your time. This was awesome.
Oh, thank you, Amber, so much. I had the best time. I want to come back. I don't want to leave. And this is I had an amazing time. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll have to hang out now that I know that you live in my city.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
That's it for this week's episode of A Bright Idea Podcast. Today's guest was Courtney Ramsey, founder of Courtney Ramsey & Co. If you would like to use her services, you can go to her website at courtneyramsey.co or on social media at courtneyramsey.co. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe or leave us a review. Your feedback helps us bring on more stories like Courtney's. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at A Bright Idea Podcast for updates, and if there's a topic or a guest you'd like to hear from next, drop us a message. If you would like to support our show directly, you can donate to our Cash App at A Bright Idea Podcast. This episode was edited by Chris Kramer. All social media was handled by Shekinah Henderson. And until next time, I'm Amber Key.